What's up, guys? My name is Connor, and this channel is Catch and Chase, where we do anything fishing, hunting, and outdoors related. In today's video, I'm going to go over how to find post-spawn creek. You can also throw river smallmouth into this mix. So today I'm going to go over a couple areas I key in on, a couple baits I like to throw, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of fishing in this video. So we'll throw in some fishing clips here at the end of this. And if you guys like this video, leave a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. I'd like to get 1K by the end of this year. I'm going to try and post as much as possible these next couple months before winter comes. So I'm going to try and stick to 3 videos a week. Let's hope we can do that. So stay tuned, guys. Let's go over what I key in on. All right, guys. So these fish just got done spawning. They like to start spawning in these creeks and rivers here in Ohio that beginning of April to mid-May. But we're starting to get into that later part of May where you're going to have some fry garters. You're going to have some fish starting to head back out into the current so they can feed up for the summertime. So one of the first areas I like to key in on is those fast current areas. Those fast current areas will hold a lot of bait fish, shiners, daces, darters, stuff like that. And those smallmouth will actually hide right behind those bigger boulders and wait for those bait fish to come flowing on by. So they'll actually come out from behind those rocks and grab those bait, go back to that rock, and they're going to sit there and they're just going to keep waiting all day for more meals. So that's one spot I like to key in on for post-spawn smallmouth. Another good area to key in on are current breaks off to the side of the main current. So as you can see, actually right here, you have the main current going this way, and then there's this little grass spot right here. As you can see, there's a little bit of an eddy going about 100 yards down that way. These fish are going to sit right here off the tip of this little grassy spot. There's a little bit of a depth change right there where it goes from the fast current to the deeper eddy right here. And those fish are going to sit there right there on that edge, and they're going to wait for shiners, stuff like that to swim by, and they're going to go out and they're going to crush those things. These fish are trying to get fed back up after the spawn. They just dealt with some harsh conditions. They've been having to fend their beds off from shiners and bluegills, so they're trying to feed up as much as possible. So these little areas like this right here are great areas to find smallmouth. And one of the last spots I like to look for post-spawn smallmouth are fast current going into a deeper hole. That fast current going into that deeper hole, that deeper water is going to be a little cooler than the shallow water, and the current is going to be pushing bait in, and crawdads and everything else. It's going to be pushing those bait towards that deep hole. So those fish are going to sit there right on the mouth of that deep hole, waiting for those shiners, crawdads, darters, whatever to come swim by. So don't overlook these 3 spots. Those 3 spots are really about all you need to find for post-spawn creek smallmouth. So let's get right into what lures I like to throw during the post-spawn. All right, so let's get into some of the baits I like to throw. One of the first baits I like to throw is something I'd say a little earlier into the post-spawn, something these fish are just now coming off beds. Some of them are still fry garters. So the first bait I actually like to throw is a weightless fluke. So when I'm creek smallmouth fishing, I downsize everything. I downsize every bait I throw. So this little, I think this is a 3-inch zoom fluke, is one of my favorite lures to throw for post-spawn smallmouth. Smallmouth will defend their babies like, I don't know, they just will crush anything that gets by their fry. So this looks like a little shiner or a little bluegill coming up next to their fry, and they will destroy it. So if you guys are ever out on the creek, pick up one of these things right here, weightless fluke. And it's not like that, these things will work all throughout the summertime. So pick one of these up right here. It's a zoom fluke, little EWG hook, and go catch some fish. All right, we're getting a little bit later into post-spawn. This is one of my all-time favorite smallmouth baits to throw, and that is a little tiny 2.75 inch swim bait. So these fish are starting to feed back up, so they're chasing shiners, crawdads, everything. So this little tiny swim bait right here is one of the best shiner imitators ever. So 2.75 inch. This one's a Great Lakes finesse swim bait. This thing is it's becoming one of my favorite swim baits. I'm gonna have to do a full video on one of these one day. But 1/8 ounce head. You can even go a little bit lighter on the head, depending on the creek you're fishing and the current. But right here, 2.75 inch swim bait. Probably just a little bit later into the post spawn. It's an extremely good bait. All right, let's get into the bottom baits. So, like I said, they like to eat darters, crawdads, stuff like that. So, you know, some people hate it, some people love it, but this next bait is all around one of the best fish catchers of all time, and that would be this little thing right here, a little Ned rig. A little Ned rig can imitate anything. It can look like a darter scooting across the bottom. It can look like a crawdad scooting across the bottom. It could look like a dying bait fish. So, a Ned rig, one of the best creek / river smallmouth lures of all time. I know, like I just said, people give it hate. I don't know why you give it hate. You know, as long as it catches fish, what does it matter? It's such a great lure. So, go pick yourself up some Ned rigs. All right, let's go into another bottom bait. All right, another creek bottom bait right here that works great is a little shaky head with a little crawdad imitator on the back. This looks like a little crawdad just scooting across the bottom, bouncing in between those rocks. And for smallmouth, crawdad is candy. It's a great protein for them. So little crawdads like this, just scooting across the bottom. This one's on a stand-up shaky head, and I don't know if you've ever seen a crawdad or if you've ever went and played in your guys' creeks, but if you pick up a rock, what does that crawdad do? He either scoots out away real fast, or he sits there with his pinchers up in the air looking at you. So that stand-up shaky head is going to be standing like this, and it's going to have those crawls up in the air, and that to a smallmouth just hates that. So that smallmouth is going to go over there and he's going to munch on that thing. So go pick you up, shaky head, the crawdad imitator. It's a great lure. All right, last but certainly not least, the most fun lure to throw out of all these ones I'm going over, the TOPWATER popper. This lure right here is so much fun. It can catch small ones, it'll catch big ones, but it just looks like a dying bait fish, just, you know, blooping on top of the water. Smallmouth cannot resist it in the post spawn. So like I said earlier in this video, I'm going to be filming today. I'm going to film a couple fish catches for you guys, and I actually know I'm going to hammer on this lure today, because as you can see, cloudy skies, rainy, drizzly, water's on its way up because it's been raining all morning. So we're going to crush them on this bait. So go pick you up a popper and go have some fun in your creeks. All right, guys, let's get into this fishing part of the video. Let's have some fun. There's one. There's a good one. That's a good fish. Oh, that busted my butt. That's a good one. Come here. There we go. That's a good one right there on that little 2.75 inch little swim bait. Just casted it over into that current, as you can see over there. And once it got down to these rocks, that fish smoked it. Not a bad one for this little creek. It's even got a little melanistic tail going on. There it goes. Oh, there's a big one. There's a big one. There's a good one. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a nice one. He didn't even hit it that hard. Where you at? There we go. That's a real nice one. Come here. There we go. Told y'all, I felt like we were gonna get a good one up here in a second. Got both hooks in the mouth. There we go. Nice little creek smallmouth. He's probably up there guarding fry. Where I cast it was over, I don't know if you can see, but over there by those little grass sticking up. He came up and just slurped it down. What a beautiful fish.